My name is Harry, I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is May 19th, 2023. It is 3:25 a.m. I just did my main recording and I happened on Twitter again and I saw this and I thought I want to listen to it. I don't want to wait until tomorrow to listen to it when I'm doing my next recording. So let's get to it. Okay, let's hear from The View. Harry and Meghan run end with paparazzi. Let's pause there. Harry and Meghan run ends with paparazzi in New York City after a spokesperson for Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, claimed they were involved in, quote, a near catastrophic car accident while being pursued by paparazzi in New York. The View co-host reacted. All right, 7 minutes and 31 seconds.
Some wacky stuff went on last night, apparently Tuesday night, in Manhattan, where Prince Harry and Meghan were followed by paparazzi while leaving the Ziegfeld Theater. Their spokesperson called it a near catastrophic car chase.
When I'm up through the night, I can't turn down the noise, say all the words out of my mind. About who I'm supposed to be, I start to believe I can't get it right. Remember the days I let slip away, they were simpler times.
Others said it wasn't bad, but I think people in New York know if it was possible to have car chases in New York, we'd all make it to the theater on time. But I think their spokesperson reference something that you generally would reference in Los Angeles. That's where you have chases. That's where you can move at high speeds.
No, hearing from other, there's a video that I came across. Do I still have it? Okay, let's listen to this and then I'll go back. This is someone who had spoken to one of Harry's security. All right, listen.
So what really happened with this car chase in New York involving Prince Harry and Meghan? Well, I've just got off the phone with someone who was in it. His name is Chris Sanchez. He's with their security detail. He used to be with the Secret Service, and he told me it was the worst thing he's ever been through. It wasn't a high-speed chase because they were trying to stick to the speed limits and not put anyone in danger.
Okay, it was not. It was not a chase. Okay, so let's listen.
It did go on for more than 2 hours. It involved swapping vehicles and trying to get into safe spaces. They said there was about a dozen vehicles, cars, motorbikes and also cycles chasing them, trying to get pictures. At one point, Harry and Meghan's car was blocked off and photographers were taking pictures of them. They didn't at any point feel at risk. They were scared, but they didn't feel their life was at risk. They were, however, concerned about people dying on the roads because the paps, they say, were crossing red lights, going up onto the sidewalk, and they, at several points they were concerned that pedestrians could be killed. So it was pretty serious as far as they're concerned.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's go back to this.
I think they were dealing with aggressive paparazzi. Yeah. But I don't think it was where, you know, you're watching on TV like this, watching the cars go, because, you know, you can't, it just doesn't work in the
No, I mean, sometimes I'm in the city and I hear an ambulance going, trying to get through, and I think that person's dead.
Yeah.
That person is dead.
Because you can't get through. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I think, though, you know, the spokesperson, what they said was this near catastrophic car chase. Yeah. But there,
That's LA,
no one ever,
LA words.
no one ever claimed that there was a high-speed chase.
Thank you.
When we think about chases, we think about high-speed chases.
O.J. Simpson.
Exactly, we think about that. But what's interesting to me is these e-bikes were involved. You know, those little electric bikes that you see all over New York, they're real menaces. A lot of them don't have license plates.
And they don't have helmets
They don't have
either.
helmets.
Yeah.
And I can understand how, I don't think we should assign you know, feelings to them. If they felt scared, I will grant them that. And I think that, you know, when you look at a situation like this where his mother died of a catastrophic car chase, and he knows that, and she knows that, I wouldn't want to be in a situation where e-bikes and sedans are sort of following me aggressively around the city. And I think they were trying not to lead them to their sanctuary where they ultimately were going to stay.
But when
Thank you, Sonny. My goodness. Let's see.
when someone puts a word on something like chase, that is something that you can't do it here. The bikes, if the bikes were chasing you, they would have to be steady at your pace where your car is.
Apparently they
so
were.
they were not.
That's what's being reported.
Part of the problem is there are 9,000, I'm going to get to it, 9,000 different stories and a clip.
Oh, we have a clip.
So we have to do the
I would
clip.
find it hard to believe that there was a 2-hour high-speed chase. That would be, I find it hard to believe. But we.
All right, let's go back to that here. Oh, where is it?
It wasn't a high-speed chase because they were trying to stick to the speed limits. And
Okay,
not put anyone
it
in.
wasn't. This is the person who was, not him. He's, you know, I'll just replay it. That's all. I'll just replay it instead of wasting time here.
So what really happened with this car chase in New York involving Prince Harry and Meghan? Well, I've just got off the phone with someone who was in it. His name is Chris Sanchez. He's with their security detail. He used to be with the Secret Service, and he told me it was the worst thing he's ever been through. It wasn't a high-speed chase because they were trying to stick to the speed limits and not put anyone in danger.
Okay, it was not. It was not a chase. Okay, so let's listen.
It did go on for more than 2 hours. It involved swapping vehicles and trying to get into safe spaces. They said there was about a dozen vehicles, cars, motorbikes and also cycles chasing them, trying to get pictures. At one point, Harry and Meghan's car was blocked off and photographers were taking pictures of them. They didn't at any point feel at risk. They were scared, but they didn't feel their life was at risk. They were, however, concerned about people dying on the roads because the paps, they say, were crossing red lights, going up onto the sidewalk, and they, at several points they were concerned that pedestrians could be killed. So it was pretty serious as far as they're concerned.
Okay.
We will find out the exact duration of it. But if it's 10 minutes, a 10-minute chase is extremely dangerous in New York City.
Did it feel like the paparazzi were being aggressive?
No, not. They were behind us. I mean, they stayed on top of us. That was pretty much it. There was nothing more, you know. They kept their distance. It's just like journalists, just like everybody else trying to get pictures, make a quick buck.
But he did say, the taxi driver did say, but they're not from New York. They were scared.
And I also think that
the
the terms they chose were misleading. So in addition to chase, what they meant by catastrophic is not to them, possibly. It was to the
people.
paparazzi. And I think when you word it that way, it does feed trolls saying, oh, was there a chase and it was catastrophic? And I read it that way. When I first read it, I thought, oh my God, this is happening to them too. And then I read in. But regardless of, you're right, they were probably scared. I think it was misrepresented in the language they released. But I do also think that everyone can agree there's got to be better regulation on paparazzi because even if it weren't this chase specifically, there are ways they get really dangerous. They don't chase me, so I can't speak from personal experience. But
would you like them to?
No.
Well,
I mean,
kind of
maybe
question
one.
is that?
But I've been around people that have been chased and harassed, and been there when you feel yourself saying, "Get away! There are kids here." And you find yourself thinking, you know, where's the humanity? And I know they're trying to sell these pictures and get food, but there's got to be some deal that is struck that doesn't allow people to become parasitic hazards.
I'm surprised it's New York paparazzi, though, right? Because the New Yorkers see celebs all the time, and they're like, okay, hi.
But not when you're
not
them,
a big
though.
Deal.
But no, that's the thing. I think this was both a PR failure and a planning one. And I preface all this with no one deserves to be harassed or made to feel unsafe by paparazzi.
Right.
PR, immediately that statement went out and it evoked Princess Diana. It evoked the actual high-speed chase that she died within 7 minutes of being in the car.
What was it? One of the security told that guy there was a 2 hours chase. Okay, they were running after them, motor scooters and all of that, going after traffic light and all of this. But the thing is that people are trying to downplay it. But okay.
In Paris when that took place. So it immediately panicked the public because obviously no one can even relate to Harry's trauma on this, but that's also a public trauma. We all remember when that happened. So I think it immediately made it sound very, very serious.
What if they felt like that, though?
But they may have felt like that. But the other is planning. This city accommodates heads of state, the biggest celebrities. Taylor Swift gets around New York, and she's got just as many paparazzi in her face. But you plan. So I guess they were staying at a private residence, is what I read, and so they didn't want the car to pull up to the private residence, which I understand, because then stalkers could see them or people could try to take pictures. But then check into a hotel that deals with VIPs every day. You pull into the loading dock. I did these with presidents and heads of state.
They would have found them. They would have found them. They're raised to a radioactive right now, and the paparazzi will find them whatever they do.
The thing is that they are freaking private citizens, and at the same time, yes, they are public figures, but why can't they do the things that they want to do? Okay? Because you never know, there's people who's in the hotel who probably will leak. They are staying there. I mean, they probably wanted their kids to have a home to run around and whatever. I don't understand the mentality of some of these people.
There's a way to plan
why do
for it to
Americans
not be like...
Americans seem to be annoyed with them all the time. Is that because we just don't go for the royal thing because we fought a war over it?
I'm sorry. I don't know where you're getting this, but they're not in people's face all the time. You will have to follow them on their website to know what they are doing. They're not in people's face all the time. So what is she talking about?
It's not what it is.
What is that? What is it?
It's because people don't realize, people have, either they love you as a celebrity or they hate you. I've lived in both worlds.
Yeah, they both at the same time.
I have. You know, I've been chased. I know what they do.
I've been with you when you've been stalked, and it must be terribly uncomfortable.
Well, you know what it is? There's certain things, and you're right. When you come to New York, you have to know, if you have security detail, have them figure out how long it's going to take you to get from point A to point B. That will tell you where you need to go. You can't make lefts and rights here in New York if you're driving, so you have to know that. Also, the paparazzi is always going to go for celebrities. They just are, because it makes a little dough for them. It does. So
why am I getting the sense that they're giving a free pass for paparazzi? Why am I getting the feeling they're giving it's okay for paparazzi to do the things that they're doing? But yes, I understand there's a balance here. They have to consider certain things. But they came to New York before. They came to New York several times before. None of this happened. So someone planned that for this to happen. So I don't understand. They have come to New York several times before. None of that happened. But this time that happened. So someone who is pissed of their success had to plan this for this to happen. So I don't know what's the problem. Because they came to the I'm saying US, to New York several times before. So they decided to do this way because they felt it was safe. So someone interfered with their safetyness and sent these people to do this to them.
They were as aggressive as they would be with Taylor. Taylor, let me take a picture. But for their people, I want to recommend that when you come here, know exactly what your route is going to be. You must know your route and the fastest way to get there. If you're going on, know that if you're getting on the FDR, you're not going to be able to
get on the FDR.
You know, there's all, you know, there's ways that New York can help you have a better experience, even though you're being stalked by paparazzi. And I don't think anybody realized that the verbiage that they were using was going to cause the kind of thing that it did. And as your spokesperson, when you use that kind of verbiage, know that your credibility is going to get cut in half, because the first thing New Yorkers will say is, nobody moves that fast in New York City. So just keep that in mind and find the right ways to tell us that this happened and we should be aware of it.
Way I saw them follow the car, I wasn't surprised by the headlines. They actually went in from the side entrance. They didn't come in from the front red carpet entrance. Me and a couple other supporters ran to the back to kind of catch them walking in because we saw all the paparazzi running to the back suddenly. And it became pretty aggressive. The paparazzi had access to the garage from where they were entering, and they were being kind of manhandled by the bodyguards to prevent them from getting too close to the Sussexes. And the entire time, a lot of the paparazzi were heckling Meghan and Harry and making just negative comments, trying to get a reaction out of them. As they were leaving, just the way they chased the car, it just reminds you of like all the other scenes you've seen in the past with Prince Harry's mother. And it was just really upsetting. If it was triggering for me, I can't even imagine how it must have felt for them.
Part of the security detail. He used to be with the Secret Service. He told me, I've never experienced anything like this. What we were dealing with was very chaotic. There were about a dozen vehicles, cars, scooters and bicycles. The public were in jeopardy at several points. It could have been fatal. So that's what they were dealing with, Brianna, and they're clearly very shaken up.
Happened very close to here when we were leaving the building yesterday. There was nothing but cameras all over the place, and I was trying to figure out what happened. And I guess, you know, she was leaving the ballroom, but they said that the paparazzi allegedly hit like 6, 7 cars over there, and they said it was a big thing.
That's what we were told yesterday. Cause
they said they hit the cars?
Yeah. We were told that yesterday. We were told that the paparazzi was going around the block because I guess she was in a building over here. She was in an event over here or something.
What is it, the Siegfried Ballroom over there? Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And they was like paparazzi was hitting cars. Yeah. You know, trying to get a picture of her.
Trying to get a picture, which is weird because in New York City, you really don't see wild paparazzi crazy like that chasing people because you see so many people. You don't really have that, you know, here. But
y'all losing y'all damn mind over Meghan Markle. Come on, stop.
Well, they allegedly said it was no actual collision, so I don't know if they meant hit, like, you know, resulting in an injury or accident or what.
These were parked cars.
Parked cars.
Yeah, these were
parked cars.
Yeah. The security told us that yesterday. Security literally told us yesterday. Meghan Markle was at the ballroom or whatever last night. Ballroom,
yep.
The paparazzi kept going around in circles just to get a picture of her, and they was hitting parked cars.
Yeah.
I heard that before I even heard from the mayor.
Okay.
I spoke to Chris Sanchez on the phone. He was part of the security detail. He used to be with the Secret Service. He told me, I've never experienced anything like this. What we were dealing with was very chaotic. There were about a dozen vehicles, cars, scooters and bicycles. The public were in jeopardy at several points. It could have been fatal. So that's what they were dealing with, Brianna, and they're clearly very shaken up.
Because that's really what you're trying to get us into.
I'll get the end, but at the same time, you know what? They all are baggage for God. That's it. I wanted to hear it, and then I recorded it. That's it. Let me get back to work. It is, 3:38 now, a.m. So before you know it, my kids is going to get up. All right.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.